What's up, guys? Welcome to Whiskey. My name is Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into our review? Today we're looking at the Benromach 10-year-old. Stick around. So we have a Benromach with us today. They're one of my favorite Speyside distilleries. I've been on a roll with these guys lately. I've reviewed quite a few. I've gone through the 15, a couple of their cask strength expressions, loved all of them, and I figured time to give the 10 a go. I have talked about this in some recent videos. Benromach rebranded not too long ago, and a lot of people were not happy with the changes. First and foremost, it seems like everybody except me hates the bottle. I don't like the bottle. We'll talk about that later. I don't love the bottle, but it's whatever, it's fine. But the whiskey itself has changed too, and the style nowadays is a lot more accessible than it once was. The older stuff was a lot more challenging than the stuff they're putting out today, and usually when I use the word challenging, I mean it in a good way, but the older stuff was harsher, more astringent, and what we're getting today is a little bit more modern, rounded, and sweeter. And of course, modern and sweet are often considered bad words when we're talking about whiskey, but I do think that the changes they made at Benromach worked out. I think the whiskey's better off for it. I'm probably one of the only reviewers online who thinks so. But yeah, anyway, our 10-year-old here is the entry-level expression. It is the youngest age-stated Benromach that you can buy. This one's affordable, and it serves as a good introduction to the kinds of flavors that we can expect from Benromach. It's been entirely matured in first fill casks, and I believe most, if not all, of the age-stated expressions are also entirely first fill matured. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And yeah, our cask should be both bourbon and sherry here. Now, this is probably my fourth or fifth review of a Benromach on this channel, and as I mentioned earlier, I literally have liked every single other expression I've looked at, so our odds are pretty good for our 10-year-old here, but hey, you never know. So yeah, why don't we jump into our review, see what our whiskey is all about, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So we have a pretty weak ABV of 43% here. I believe this to be chill filtered. Luckily, our color is natural, but this is a weird brand, man. It's owned by an independent bottler. It's respected like it's a craft brand. It definitely should be a craft brand, but it's not a craft brand. Nice natural color to our whiskey. I have talked about Benromach bottles before. I definitely don't hate them as much as a lot of you guys out there hate them. I wasn't a huge fan of the old look. I'm not a huge fan of the new look either. It's all kind of whatever for me. Presentation here is going to be 3 out of 5. We also get a bunch of classic buzzwords here, stuff like traditional and family owned and finest oak and handcrafted, all that good stuff. That is a little bit over the top, fair play. We also have a declaration of natural color, which is nice, and some really basic tasting notes. You know, it's fine. I did not water this one. Let's try our nose. Okay, big sweet sherry here. We have a little bit of like farmy yellow hay, some chocolate, some cinnamon, some earth, some autumn leaves. We have some toasted pumpkin seeds, some oak, like maple and caramel in here, and some honey roasted nuts. Now our palate. Okay, we have some caramel and some smoke up front. We have tobacco, but like a lighter tobacco, like, I don't know, like a cigarette tobacco. It's like lighter in style, not as heavy as your cigar style tobaccos. I don't smoke, I don't know what I'm talking about. We have honey, toffee, oak, butterscotch, butter, cream. We have some red fruits and some yellow fruits in here. It's good. Now our finish. So a creamy milkiness here, sultanas, some cinnamon, more of those indistinct red and yellow fruits, banana sundae with chocolate sauce, because why not? There's some chopped wood, little wisps of smoke in here. You know, I thought this would be a very short finish. It's a short to medium finish. So this is fun stuff. It is a good 10-year-old. Despite the lower ABV, I think it does check a lot of boxes. It tastes good, it's balanced, and it is quite full for the ABV. Of course, this one should come in at 46%, but for 43% whiskey, we are getting a fair dose of flavor here. So yeah, this is a good one. I'm not going to tell you it's like a complex or nuanced whiskey. It isn't. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward, cut and dry stuff, but it is the Benromach profile. Maybe a simplified, boiled down version of it, but considering they have one of the best house styles in the game, I'm still perfectly happy drinking this. Pretty much just the typical modern Benromach profile, which obviously I don't have a problem with. We have wisps of smoke, we have some sherry in here, we have some gentle farminess, we have tobacco and butterscotch in here. I mean, who doesn't like those flavors? This one, it's a charmer. One thing I should say though is that this is the weakest age-stated Benromach that I've had. I haven't tried the newer no age-stated stuff, not available yet in Taiwan. But for the age-stated stuff, I've tried the batch 4 cask strength, I've tried the 12-year-old cask strength, I've tried the 15, and all of those are better, more complex, more interesting whiskeys than this one. But of course, they should be. They're A, more expensive, and B, older than this, so I'm not knocking it. One tiny little issue that I do have with this one though is that I find it to be very mood-based. It's not consistent. Some nights it slaps, some nights I absolutely love it, and then other nights I'll just be like, that's just okay. So it seems to depend a lot on just what kind of mood my palate's in. For comparisons, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because there's not a lot of whiskeys out there that taste like Benromach. Benromach sometimes gets compared to Springbanks. There is a Springbank 10 out there, I'm sure you all know that, and that one's much less sherried. I'm not sure if it's sherried at all, in fact, but it's much less sherried for sure than this one. And yeah, I guess that's the closest we can get. The Springbank is going to be much better than this one. Obviously, that one's naturally presented, and it's Springbank. Ideally, we'd just be comparing this to other Benromachs in the line, and when we do that, like I said, this one's a more boiled down, simplified version of the house style. So if you are a Benromach fan and you want something a little bit more simple, more casual, this one will work for you. It's a good whiskey. I'm going to give it, you know, I probably should give it 85, but I'm going to give it 86 just because I'm a sucker for Benromach. And, you know, aside from the classic sort of traditional flavors that we usually get with Benromach, we also have some really cool flavors in here. We have stuff like roasted pumpkin seeds, we have maple syrup, banana sundaes, just, it's fun, you know, it's a charming whiskey. It's not going to blow your socks off, but if you like Benromach, again, this one should scratch that itch, and it's good. So this one's entry level and it's priced accordingly, so I have no complaints about value for this one. It's about the same price tag as any other good quality entry level 10 or 12-year-old out there, and it's delicious. Now, I'm sure some of you out there might be thinking twice because of the lower ABV, and I get that. But this one gets a pass for me for no other reason than I like it, which is a very unscientific non-justification, but I can say the ABV doesn't really bother me. I have a lot of friends who feel the same way. It's solid stuff, and for the price, I think it's worth checking out. Alright, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe. Always appreciated, and I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Benromach 10-year-old here? What were your thoughts? Finally, down in the comments below, let me know what you want to see me review next. I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.